Mike, I'm watching the BCS championship, Oregon versus Auburn, the national champion now, and I wasn't that happy with the game. Great ending, yeah, but the beginning and the middle just wasn't that good, and it sort of built up to a rant. We're gonna Mike go crazy here in a second.
I'm gonna go bananas.
The whole NCAA thing here, and I think you've got another rant. We're going to talk about concussions in a moment as well, and the length of the NFL season. Let's talk BCS in this championship game. What bothered you the most?
I heard somebody say one time a while ago that bowl games are more like season openers than they are like season enders. And what we saw last night was clearly an illustration of that. Neither of these teams had played for 37 days. And these are two great offenses that are, especially in Oregon's case, a lot of finesse, a lot of scheme stuff that clearly was not there last night. Clearly, we saw maybe 80% of these teams, and it would have been a great show if we'd have seen 100% of these teams. But more importantly, this is a ridiculous way for a major sport to end its season and choose its champion. Give me a break.
The interesting thing, Mike, if I can add to your rant for a moment, is
Please do.
They keep saying we don't want to have a playoff system because it will stretch the season too long for these students.
That argument is
January 10th. We've stretched it pretty far here, folks.
That argument has been long debunked, and it's one of the few arguments on the other side of this.
But they keep stretching it further.
Yes, you're right.
Do the playoff.
37 days, people. Give me a break.
One more rant from Michael here. The NFL keeps talking about concussions. He keeps talking about injuries. What did you notice during the Saints-Seattle game that's going to really set you off here? Because they're talking about lengthening these seasons. Who was the starting running back for the Saints? What's going on? And the Colts game, too.
If you look from the beginning of the season, in terms of their roster, they were playing with their seventh-string running back. Now, and the Colts, these are the two defending teams that played in the Super Bowl last year, the Colts and the Saints. The Colts were without their skill position people almost for the entire season. Austin Collie, recurring concussion deal, he might be done for his career. And they want to lengthen the season. You never saw this kind of thing where teams were just completely depleted down to their practice squad in the past. People say, well, the players will adjust. I heard Mike Golick on the radio this morning say, the players will adjust. If they play 8, at one time they thought 14 games was too many. At one time they thought 16 was too many. They never thought that when we were seeing teams get just completely depleted like this. When we know what we know now about head trauma, when we know what we know now about how playing the sport of football shortens your lifespan, for God's sake, this is something that makes the game, this is something that if we lengthen the season, it's going to make the game worse for the fans and for the players so that it can be a little better for the owners in terms of revenue. That's a bad deal. It's a ridiculous deal. And when they try to tell you that they're serious about the safety of their players, keep this in mind. They're not.